Hey there, I wanted to do a post-walk stretch video for you. I just went walking. I feel like it's a really good thing to keep everything loose in the body, especially if you are walking or running or working out. So here we go. We're gonna use a chair, and it doesn't really matter what kind of chair you have, just something that you can kind of hold on to the back and use the seat for your feet. So you're gonna bring one foot up, and for some of you, you're already gonna feel that in your hamstring. So don't worry if the leg is straight. You can put a little bend in the knee, but I want you to flex your foot to get some stretch in the calf muscle as well. Keep your spine nice and tall, and then hinge forward. Starting with the good old hamstrings. So the other hand can just kind of rest. Take a couple good deep breaths. So you can stay a little longer if your hamstrings are really, really tight. Make sure you don't lock out your standing leg knee. I just realized I kind of was doing that. So just put a soft bend in the knee, nice and long in the spine. Let's take 2 more breaths. All right, then maybe give a little help behind the back of that knee. You're gonna bend the knee of the straight leg, put the foot on the chair, and for some of you, this is all you need. Others, if you can, bring one hand like, oh yes, I'm feeling that. And it might be hip, glute, hamstring, inner thigh. Like there's so many different muscles around the legs that are all connected that get really tight. So just feel a stretch. And on a good day, you can bring both hands down. And apparently it's a good day. I did this like 3 days ago and I couldn't do it. So always listen to your body. Again, soften your standing leg knee. I'm telling myself that. And for this one, you don't have to have a really straight spine. You can drop your head, relax your shoulders, and let's take a couple breaths. All right. So use a little help with the hand on the back of the chair or the hand on the thigh. Bring yourself back up. We're going to do one more in this kind of standing position. And make sure that you're careful. I'm going to have you hop your back foot back just a little bit. And then you're going to lunge forward through the hips and through the pelvis. So you can interlace your hands on the leg. You can keep one hand on the chair, but I want you to be feeling right across the front of the hip or maybe the quad, not in the low back. So be mindful. You can even hop back a little more if you need to. Come onto the ball of the back foot or keep your back foot down. Hip flexor, iliopsoas, couple of breaths here. These muscles get really tight if you have a job where you're sitting down a lot. This is such a good stretch. Just make sure you don't feel it in your low back. 3 more breaths. Good job. All right, nice and easy. Shift your hips back, lift. Felt so good. Okay, let's do the other side. Same deal. You're going to hold on to the back of the chair. Opposite leg now, hamstring stretch. So do the best that you can to flex your foot so you also get the calf muscle. Stand up nice and tall without locking out the knee of the standing leg and just hinge forward. Oh yes, this side is way tighter. So this hand can go on the hip, can go on the leg. You can interlace both hands across the top of the thigh. Breathe in. Breathe out, get that oxygen moving, get that blood flow, that circulation, and let's give the legs some space, some feeling of being loose, not tight, so that you can protect your joints and keep doing what you're doing, walking, running, not me, working out. Whatever you're doing, stretching is so important to keep the body balanced. All right, I've been talking, so maybe 2 more breaths. And hamstrings are really important to stretch because they can pull on the lower back. and that's never a good thing. All right, let's grab behind the back of the knee, help that straight leg bend. And some of you, this is it, right? Always pay attention if one side is a little tighter. Just listen to your body. We're not perfectly symmetrical, and that's okay. If it's a good day, take both hands down to the seat of the chair. Remember, you can round the spine, relax the shoulders, and drop the head. I'm going to do that and take a couple of breaths. All right, nice and easy. Either use the back of the chair or your hand on the leg. Bring yourself up. Okay, hip flexor. So be careful, hold on to the chair. Hop your back foot back a little bit. You can be on the ball of the back foot or you can keep your foot down. Whatever's gonna help you feel more strong and stable. Start to lunge forward. And when I say lunge forward, you're bringing the hips and the pelvis forward instead of hips directly on top of that standing leg. So make sure as your hips come forward, you don't want your knee to be so far forward. That's a lot of flexion in the knee. So ideally knee on top of ankle. Oh yes, hip flexor, front of the hip. Maybe for some of you quad, maybe even coming up into the side. So a couple good deep breaths here. Remember, you're welcome to interlace both hands on the front thigh and to go a little deeper. Let your breath soften you into the stretch. Never force. One more. All right. Shift your hips back. Step that foot. Even if you need some help, grab behind the knee. Help that foot step. All right, let's actually sit in the chair and we're gonna work those outer hip, maybe glute, maybe even hamstring muscles. So ankle to knee, whatever foot you wanna do first. And if this is super, super tight, maybe you can only do calf to knee or even just sitting cross-legged. So do whatever works in your body. I think I'm okay today to do ankle to knee. Definitely feeling that through this out seam of the hip and leg. If you need more, sit up really tall. And if you still need more, lean forward. That's about it for me. Relax your shoulders, take a couple of good deep breaths. Make sure the foot that's on the floor is right underneath the knee. So you've got a straight shot down instead of if the foot is too far back, it's gonna put pressure on the knee. So always do your best to keep the body aligned, bones stacked to support the joints. Last breath here. And then we might as well do a nice little twist. So take an inhale in, and we're gonna exhale, go to the right. Take an inhale in, and exhale, come on back to center. All right, let's do the other side. Ankle to knee. Ooh. Do you notice that? Do you notice one side tighter than the other? I do today. Wow, definitely this side has a lot more tension. So that's okay. It's just something for me to notice and listen to. So I'm probably gonna stay right here because I really feel this. Take an inhale in. Exhale, if you need to, go a little further forward. That's not happening for me. I'm gonna stay put. Breathe in and breathe out. And do the best that you can to soften wherever you're feeling the sensation. You don't wanna push in until the muscle feels so tight that you can barely breathe. Back off and relax into it. Our intention is to give the body space to release soreness and tightness from the muscles and to keep everything balanced. All right, let's do a twist to the other side now. Take an inhale in, lift your spine. Exhale, little turn to the left. Take an inhale in. And exhale, come back around. Gosh, it's so crazy how interconnected the mind and the body are. Like, I already feel so much better, and all we did was stretch some muscles in the lower body. I hope you feel better. Okay, let's do one last stretch. So I'm gonna have you take your feet wide, and for some of you, you're just gonna come forward and you're going to prop your elbows up on top of your thighs. This should be the inseam of the leg, inner thigh area, maybe a little bit in the inside of the hamstring. If you really need a deeper stretch, you can bring your hands all the way down to the floor. I don't need to do that, so I'm gonna stay right here. I'm using my elbows to kind of press my knees apart, and we're gonna take 3 deep breaths. If it feels good, relax the head and let the shoulders kind of roll forward. Give me one more breath, and then we'll round and roll up in the spine, nice and slow, to take all of that space from the lower body into the spine. As we come all the way up, walk your feet back towards one another. Take a deep breath in and out. Thank you so much for joining me for this post-walk stretch, and I hope you do it again and again. Stay well.